Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue major relationships in a household. 姐 is today's expression or character that you can see throughout the history. They look similar, retained the structure. The female figure of character on the left, 女, and this female today is a generic female gender, but in ancient times that means unmarried woman. So basically, somebody's daughter is still in her original household, not married off to be a mother of somebody yet. So this is female in its original package without the later social responsibilities or further development of its own gender without further roles as a mother. Okay, and then the right side. Took me some time to realize what that is. It's in ancient times, people don't have a table and chair like today, right? So they are hanging on the floor. A lot of times appears sitting on their heels. And I wonder if you tried sitting on heels, you cannot do that for too long, right? Your legs or your toes would tire out. So ancient times came up with this kind of a stool uh, look like furniture that's low hanging that you can sit on the stools, kind of hovering above your heels. So you still have folded legs, but instead of sitting on your heels directly, you're lifted so that your legs and feet get a break from your body weight. And this is such a furniture. These two horizontal lines are said to be verticalized lines of the originally four legs of such a stool. And the stool should be like sitting on top of the floor, right? So this horizontal line is the floor. And then the stools, the legs would be vertical on top of the floor, right? If it reflecting the actual physical arrangement. But here, the stool legs were verticalized, so it becomes horizontal. And then this arch probably shows the stool sitting on top, like raised above the floor, so that somebody can sit on it, except have the legs kind of embedded in between this protruding above the floor stool that people used to sit on. So the stool eventually symbolize the seniority in the family because we have similar character that's 祖 that's related to your ancestor. And I would imagine that in the household, when you have a family gathering, it's probably the household would be different from today's nuclear household, right? It's just parents and kids. That's all. You have very limited head count. Ancient times, the household would be a bigger household in Chinese culture, a bigger multi-generational household, and probably you have adult children still live together under the same roof into different rooms, right? So as long as the older generation, say the grandparents' generation, still alive, then all the adult children still live under and then the third, possibly the fourth generation, still under the same roof. And that type of setting would have, because Chinese is ancestor worship culture, and this seniority or this lineage would be expressed also by one such family gatherings. That's many head counts under that same roof. That household would be whoever have such a seating on the ground. And I would imagine the more seniority or more important members of the family would be either you gain by your age, you're older, right? People respect older generations. Definitely grandparents, if they're alive, would be there. And then the male members of the household definitely will be there. Children, probably not so much. But this shows that you have a seating on that floor. Your seniority is there. and then paired with sister, that means senior sister. That means older sister. Okay. So 小姐 versus 小姐姐. Yesterday we talked about 小弟 versus 小弟弟. Okay, totally different things. And here, when we say 小姐 versus 小姐姐, also totally different things. This is a fascinating part of Chinese because due to this language only have like a third of the vocabulary as in English, and we, as you can imagine, we use fewer words to express probably as much as meaning to describe our human life, human relationships, right? In this sense, Chinese oversupplying characters for relationships. We have to differentiate older versus younger siblings in which gender, right? Both gender and seniority, and uh, both age and gender compact in this one character. So different that shows different culture value different things, right? So relationship in sibling sequence is important to Chinese. So when we have limited vocabulary, still compare in a sum to English. When we try to um, when we try to have some special meaning that we formulate a certain expression, in this case of 小姐 versus 小姐姐, or yesterday's 小弟 versus 小弟弟, this additional character doesn't, okay, it looks the same, but only if you're in the know in that culture, then you can decipher what exactly that set phrase is about. So 小姐, little sister. Okay, in English we have such like little woman, right? And then it's associated with a literature novel title. Um, in Chinese, little sister. And because this is older sister, when we say little older sister, then that becomes a special profession in Chinese is prostitute. We would address a prostitute in Chinese. We will say 小姐. But okay, that's in a very specialized domain. And eventually, this 小姐 from that particular profession then got extended into general public domain. So if you meet, say if you check into a hotel, you would address the cashier at the counter or the connoisseur, or I forget how to pronounce that. The person, service person at the counter, you would address them as 小姐. So it's in public conversation. If you don't know that person, and especially that person is at her job, then you would also address her as 小姐. Without using any particular name or something, right? So you would, in that sense, it's more respectful. But in the previous, like prostitute context, that would be more specific domain. When we say 小姐, we would say 请小姐. It's like you would invite such a kind of an escort role that you have to pay to have the presence of this little sister to be your company. Okay, 小姐姐, when we add another sister after it, it's more affectionately. You're calling some girl, probably older than you, but they look still cute enough. That probably is of interest to you, and you would address them as 小姐姐, even if they may be older or actually maybe younger. It's simply say this is somebody is a stranger in the public domain, and you address them because of 小姐 could have a connotation of a particular profession that's not respectful to call somebody like that. So additional 姐 added afterwards to show more affectionate is nothing disrespectful. Okay, 姐弟恋, older sister, younger brother relationship. That simply means in this couple, the girl is older than the guy, and that particular age difference is probably not that common. So Chinese create this uncommon pairing, a particular set phrase as 姐弟恋恋. means fall in love. And so we use that as a type of relationship, romantic relationship. So 姐弟 simply means there's no specific age number tied to it, but if it's a 姐 and a 弟, means it's older sister paired with younger brother. That's the relationship. Okay, 乘风破浪的姐姐, okay, is the title of a popular TV show. And I saw somewhere that it got translated as ex-sister. Doesn't make sense, simply. But the 乘风破浪的姐姐, even if it's a mouthful, it gives you the sense of these sisters. Again, when we say 姐姐, it's probably more tied to this 小姐姐, it's an affectionate addressing of strangers, girls. Most likely, I guess, performing artists who were in some TV or movie, whatever size of screen they were on, they were in front of the public presentations. So they are kind of known celebrity status of different scales, and we will address such still actively in front of people celebrities as 姐姐. And then 乘风破浪的 is, I guess, a special term created for this show. Not created. 乘风破浪 was in Chinese culture before, but then pairing with 姐姐 then become formulated as the name of the show. Okay, 乘风破浪, ride the wind and break the wave. As you can see, this is most likely to be like a sailing. You're traveling on water, and this vessel have to ride the wind and to break through the waves. So it gives you the sense of motion, gives you the sense of you're going against the wind, even if it may be for sailing purpose. Going against the wind probably is favorable for your motion, but from the appearance, it may look like you're handling uncertainty in this windy and wavy or choppy ocean surface that has this risk or challenging environment connotation, but you are riding it, you're enjoying it, you have a way to go through tough times, something like that. So 乘风破浪的姐姐 as a show, the thesis of that is to show such performing artists, these celebrities who probably receded from the public eye for a while from their previous life, if they have different segments, that they were lesser known or lesser active than before. And then through this show, it's basically a talent show among like singing, dancing, and forms groups and compete, battling against each other, and then have such sisters who are still well maintained just because they are in their 30s, 40s. I don't know if they're 50s, but they are still attractive women, but they're not in their prime years, and they're probably not as productive as in terms of the productions they were in a TV or movie. They probably still have their glamour with them, and this show was created to showcase that regardless of age, you can still be the best version of you. Okay, so this is the show's title and I guess poster, and they have different characters. I mean, I don't know all of them, but definitely I know this actress probably was active like 20 years ago, but you can see she's still in good shape, and she can definitely still sing and dance. And for them, there would be, the show would provide some challenge, some training, and you can see the progression of the growth of these sisters under the camera and how they compete, how they communicate, right? All that. It's kind of a reality show, but it gives you this promising sense of that regardless of age, you can still be the shining star on the stage. So there we go. 姐. Thank you for your time. See you next time.